You. This is directed by Will Gluck. This is based on Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. This is in modern day, and this stars Glen Powell and Sweeney, and Delma Maroney, Rachel Griffiths, and Brian Brown. Now we follow Bea and we follow Ben as they had a great first date, and their initial attraction quickly turns sour however, they unexpectedly find themselves at a destination wedding in Australia, and they pretend to be the perfect couple to keep up appearances. When I heard about this movie, I wasn't really that interested in it to see what it was going to be, but I was curious to see how it was, because there's been a lot of times that movies have surprised me. I really enjoyed No Hard Feelings, but I was curious to see how this was going to go, only for Sweeney and for Glen Powell and those actors. So I'm also a fan of the director's previous work, like EVA, and I'm one of the few who didn't mind the 2014 Annie, even though it's got a lot of problems. Color me shocked. This was actually kind of good. This was actually pretty entertaining to watch. I'm not saying this is the greatest movie ever made, but I will say for the most part, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. I think the thing that does keep this afloat, number one, is you have the great chemistry of Glen Powell and Sweeney. You have two attractive people in here, of course, which that's the main thing the marketing has been selling you on.
It's probably just a case of the Mondays. Am I right?
And I think both of these two are pretty likable in their leads. And I think all of the performances here were very good. And I think everyone, in terms of performances, they did a very solid job in terms of what they could give. Both of them are very good. The action was pretty good in terms of the romance and the comedy. This is something that it is building off Shakespeare, with these two having to pretend they're a perfect couple. But I think for the most part, it does what it set out to do. I like the romance of these two. Glen Powell is a very good actor. I like him in a lot of things. He's very cool. I think he really does carry it his own, and he does a very nice job in terms of what he could do, in terms of what he could play with. I think overall, he was good here. But you have the always beautiful, always gorgeous Sweeney, who I've loved her since Euphoria and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just talked about her in Reality, which when you see the review for that, this will be edited separately. But I think for the most part, I really quite liked what this movie had to give. And Sweeney was very good in here, performance-wise, but easily she's also very damn hot. So,
and you know this, man.
Really damn hot. So that's easily a contestant, easily a given. I thought the rest of the cast was very good too. You have Alexandra Shipp, you have GaTa, you have Hadley Robinson, Michelle Hurd, Delma Maroney, who redeems himself from the over-the-topness at the end of Scream 6, Darren Bennett, Brian Brown, who I haven't seen in a while, and also Rachel Griffiths. Really well done cinematography-wise here. The cinematography is good. You can tell this is on location. It's a $25 million budget. It's very Australian feel-like. The cinematography is really well done by Denny Rohrman. Editing was very good. And I thought the score was pretty good. There is one moment here that is actually really fun here in terms of the song choice, which they had the nerve to drop unwritten. That was awesome. I really liked that part of the movie. That was pretty cool, and I thought that was a very nice moment too.
Alright, you got it, dude!
And when the movie makes me laugh, the movie made me laugh. And when the movie have good romance to it, I very much enjoy the romance to it. I was very happy to see what they were going to go with in terms of the romance. And I think for the most part, if you are an early 90s to 2000s rom-com fanatic, you will definitely quite enjoy this. So obviously that does do a good thing in terms of it. It has its heart in the right place with the locations and the cinematography and the performances, and the always lovely Sydney Sweeney made this work. So I definitely enjoyed this for the most part. And the romantic comedies, they're making a comeback, and I'm here for that shit. It's time to bring them back, because they've been gone for too long. Aside from comedies being raunchy and not wanting to take risks. So definitely for that, I have to give this movie a lot of credit for it. And also that needle drop of Unwritten, that was awesome. I definitely really like that, as I just said. And it found a good mix between the romance and the comedy aspect. So I definitely gratefully appreciated that in terms of what it did. It's not perfect though. There are some issues I have, mainly when it comes to some of the dialogue and some of the comedy. It's not always funny here, and at times it does make you feel a little bit like, okay, ooh, well, you are a witch. That joke wasn't all that funny, but alright. Also, it doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that, but I will say it didn't need to be. It just needed to be a pretty entertaining rom-com for the most part. And some of the cast gets a little underutilized. I wanted a little more of them for the most part. At the end of the day, I quite enjoyed what this had to offer. I thought this was entertaining. I thought it had some nice moments. I thought it was a nice, fine, cool film. And I will say, despite its issues, Anyone But You, this is a movie that I think you all should go check out. This movie does need some much needed support. Go see it with your girlfriend, with your significant other, or go see it by yourself. I recommend this. I think the performances were good, the direction was good, and this turned out to be a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. I'm going to give Anyone But You an Epictastic.
Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.